Welcome to the Talk and Chatter Experience, Round 5 ASBK wrap-up show, brought to you by HJC Helmets Australia and Gasoline Alley Harley Davidson. As the sun set on a magic weekend of racing at Round 5, we went on the hunt to have a bit of a chat to a few of the riders who starred over the weekend at the track. First up, we have Troy Herfoss.
Right. Again? How was it?
Mate, it was the same as every other time. Real hard.
Yeah.
Real hard. Like, same result, like with Jonesy, fortunately.
Yeah.
But very different. Like I keep saying, I'm running out of tricks a bit, and he's a great rider. So, like, yesterday in qualifying, I had a real reality check because while I was in there getting ready for the session, I'm going through the scenarios and when I'm going to go to pit lane, how many laps I'll do, calculating all that, and then anticipating what might happen and how I'll have to approach it. Yep. And I didn't show him, in my thoughts, I didn't show him anywhere near enough respect. I put him down as like, he should, I don't reckon he'll go faster than I've done already, and I reckon I can go that fast.
Yep.
So as long as I just do my job, I'll be fine. And then I rolled out of the pit lane, come down and start my first fly, and I seen 12-0 on my board.
Yep.
It was like he just walked up to me and punched me on the chin. It just rattled me. Yeah. And like the first flyer, I paid way too much attention and thought to what I just seen on the pit board.
Yeah, right.
So he rattled me, and he was a real wake-up call because I expected to be better in qualifying, and I didn't actually improve, and I don't know if that was because I was rattled. Yep. But he done a really good job. So when I went to bed last night, I was losing a bit of sleep on that, and woke up this morning and on a mission. I went out and warm up and with the zero tyre, got down to a 12.4, which I was really happy with, and then made a few changes between the races, but I knew that I could see the look on Jonesy's face after race one. That he wasn't angry with me, but he had a different look on his face, and I'm like, there's been a turning point here.
I was going to ask that.
He's decided that he's going to have to change what he's doing maybe, and man, when he caught me like on lap record pace, I knew that I literally put your seatbelt on because he's about to come past me like a hurricane. Yeah. And he did. He almost busted me. I almost let the gap go, and just settled into my pace. And I'm glad I didn't because you have to talk to him. But I know if I went as fast as he just went, and then backed it up again, past me, and then backed it up again, I'd be gassed. And I'd have to imagine that after a few laps, when I got back on him, he must have been having a breather because I'm just speaking from my experience. I'm not saying he's not fit enough. It's just you physically at this track can't go at that speed. And I think if I had settled in, he would have stayed at a bit higher tempo and managed his heart rate a bit differently. But I think I got to the point where when he caught me, okay, settle in for a battle, and then he tried to break me, and then got to the same point as I was at, and then it was literally on. And but the difference was this time, I didn't pass him for the win. Yeah. Like he actually had me on the ropes, and he made a small mistake in the entry to turn 9, and the rear come around, and then I snuck underneath him just before the finish line. But
it's a tough weekend.
It was the same result, but very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like for me, like when I had the lead after race 1, I was thinking I had my first thought was okay, what do I do now? Yeah. And what I do, I have to attack because we're going to Phillip Island, and history says I don't perform there great. Although I'm certain that it's going to be different this time because the bikes, we've got a setting in the bike that I've tried for my whole career and not liked, and we've taken time to sort of wean me onto this setup, and it's making life a lot easier for me, and it's showing the true potential of the bike as well.
Yeah, it's exciting to see. That was one of the things I was going to say. It was like, if you say you're not good at Phillip Island, good, whatever that might be, you seem to be good everywhere. There's consistency. You rock up Friday and it's fast.
Yeah, thank you.
At all tracks. See you later. Good to see you. At all tracks, it's fast. Yeah. And that warm-up pace though this morning, like to have a warm-up to go that fast, that's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I was on a bit of a mission today. Like honestly, I got a big wake-up call from James yesterday. It was good timing because I wasn't starting to think. By no means was I was thinking I had everyone on the ropes, but I left a bit there. Like I didn't think about the fact that he might go that fast.
Yeah, right.
Like that was a half-second PB for him at the time. Well, that was an incredible lap fight that he done. So like, I think he did hit his potential. I hope. I hope it wasn't much more than that. But definitely rattled me. So
2 rounds to go. Dirt time. Is that helping?
Yeah, I
Seems to.
started riding the Monday after Sydney, and I've lost one race since then. So, but I've had a couple of broken ribs too. So,
Yeah, right.
you do eat the dirt a bit more, but like we keep saying, the reward is outweighing the risk at the moment.
Yeah, the dirt, mate. Seems to be helping too. And I
Yeah.
see Johnny Literacy come out riding with you.
Yeah, come for a
Friday,
ride.
first in practice. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
dirt must help a bit.
Yeah, and it's just like I keep saying, it's putting myself outside my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And motocross is, it's not like I'm terrible at it, but it's I'm riding with people and I'm at tracks that are difficult, and the guys I'm riding with are fast, and I'm not just going there. There's no chance of me being the fastest guy when I'm there.
Yeah.
Like, so I've got to control myself. I've got to learn to ride at my own pace. I've got to, it's all these different things that I haven't had to deal with. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying stepping out of my comfort zone a bit.
It's fantastic to see Troy in such good form out there. And all the riders at the front of that field, it's just such an incredible pace that they're carrying at the moment. Next up, we head over to Supersport 300 and we have a chat to Josh Newman.
Friday, we got off to a bit of a rough start. We just had some brake issues all day long, and I had a bit of a moment out of turn 4 where the bike didn't go into gear properly, and I slammed my chest into the tank, but we sort of moved on from that, fixed our brake issue. Heading into Saturday morning, we qualified P7 in the first session.
Yep.
And then from then we went into the second session, and everyone's just pushing the pace at the moment. Really, all the boys are super fast at the moment, and ended up qualifying P9 across the 2 sessions. The first race wasn't what I hoped, but P7 is still a good result. Just not as close to the front as I'd like. Race 2 this morning was better. We were closer, and I was in a battle with a few other guys, and then the last race is definitely the best race that we had. I was closest to the front. I was with the front group for a fair bit of the race, and then just sort of dropped off towards the end.
Is this one of those tracks that you just got to keep doing laps at to push forward?
I guess because Cam seemed pretty fast this weekend. And I know he's done a lot of laps around here, but I haven't done too many laps around here, and I just sort of struggled to adjust to it.
Yep.
A lot of laps would have helped. It's just one of those tricky tracks, and just probably my worst track of the year, and we've gotten a good result, so I'm excited to move on to Phillip Island, and I think it will suit myself and the bike a lot better.
That was definitely one of the positives I've seen. Your race results are good results. You had to fight through, and to finish where you did, you were setting some faster laps towards the end of the race. Things are working, so that was nice to see. What do you got coming up in between now and the next round?
I just want to ride as much as I can, and hopefully do some riding down at Phillip Island, just to get used to the track again and find some setup.
Yep.
Just know my way around there
Nice.
as best I can.
And then I guess a bit of time in the Ovale, a bit of things like that, bit of dirt maybe?
We're doing the Ovale round next weekend at Ipswich with Evolution Sports Group, and so I'm excited for that.
Cool.
And I love riding my dirt bike. I've always done it my whole life, so can't live without it.
They're so addictive. So they're so addictive, and obviously you look at the races that all use dirt bikes. It's a good skill set to have,
Yeah,
it's a big thing. So thanks for your time, mate.
No problems.
Next up, we went straight over to Cam Dunker to have a little bit of a chat about his weekend.
Friday started off pretty good. I was inside the top 5 most of the time, I'm pretty sure. Saturday I ended up qualifying P3 on the grid, which I was happy with that. Front row start, so I couldn't complain. Race 1 was really good. I ended up winning, and I felt really good on the bike. And then race 2 was off to a good start. I led a few laps of the race, and then at the end I made a few mistakes and ended up 4th. But I'm pretty happy. Although we had a few dramas with the bike, but all around good weekend. Still ended up 2nd.
Have you done many laps at this place?
No, I come up for a 3-day test. I've done the Southern Downs round a month ago,
Yep.
and that's all I've done here. So
And it's pretty good to get that pace straight away after not a heap of laps here. And something I said to you at Aussie Flat Track Nationals was your front tyre. You're just so good on that front.
Yeah.
You must have so much confidence on that at the moment. And see, out here as well, I've seen it.
Yeah, when I started, I never really did, and now I'm just learning to trust it more and more. So yeah, but in qualifying, I trusted a bit too much and ended up going down. But hey, happens to the best of us. So
Yeah, for sure. What do you do now between the now and the next round? Dirt bikes or a bit of everything?
Well, next weekend I'll go on mini GP, and then maybe just training in the gym, maybe a few flat track meetings here and there, bit of motocross riding, I hope. So yeah,
Yep.
looking forward to it.
You'll keep busy. Awesome, mate. Thanks so much for your time.
Seeing Cam in action these past few weeks, obviously at Aussie Flat Track Nationals, like I'd mentioned, and then at ASBK, and just seeing his form on the front end, it's been magic at the moment. So thanks for the little insight to your weekend there, Cam. After that, we just went over to the other barrier just on the pit straight, caught up with Tom Bramich and had a pretty cool chat. Tom gave us a good insight over there, and he's always up front with plenty of time, and it was freezing cold. He was sitting there in shorts and shirt, but gave us plenty of time. So sit back and have a bit of a listen to see what Tom has to say.
Tom Bramich, tell me about your weekend.
Yeah, frustrating results. Really, disappointed to leave Morgan Park with the DNF and a 6th place. It certainly wasn't what it looked like it was going to be. It was shaping up to be much better than that, and it wasn't far off being much better than that. But they're my results, and that's how it rolled. So we didn't. I'm really thankful to my team. We didn't test here, and the bike's in such a good window that I've done my fast ever laps here, qualified 0.2 off pole. So there's lots to be positive about, but it was just annoying that our Sundays aren't coming together at the moment. QR, we had a problem and then bounced back for a third in race 2. Here, I crashed in the first race, and then race 2, towards the end of the race, we had another mechanical based off the first one. Our clutch bracket came off, and I had no clutch. And so as soon as that happens, the blipper and all that sort of stuff doesn't like it at all. So I was just holding on, trying to get some points at the end, which is really frustrating.
It's one of the places, and I've said to a few, is it's really hard to get time here, and if you find it, you make it up really quickly.
Yeah.
It's a weird place.
Yeah, even watching like Herfoss and Jones in that last race, where if you know where the speed is, that they can close the gap really quick. And I didn't have extra speed than any of the Supersport boys, so it was hard. It wasn't easy for me to be able to close little gaps down. But I seemed to be able to in the second race. I didn't get the greatest of starts, and I had to pass a couple of riders. There's small gaps in between the groups, but I could close it down, make passes, which was really good. But it was just really frustrating to end the race like we did.
You mentioned something about team and your bike being good.
Yeah.
One of the things I've seen across the weekend is there's a lot of chatter down into turn 4 from a lot of different bikes.
Yeah.
You guys seem like you're on rails down into places like that, and it's a hard braking area with a few bumps and stuff. Bike must be in a real good spot when you do get it out of the box, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Compared to last year, we were pulling our hair out, reinventing the wheel after every session. And honestly, this year we made 2 changes from Queensland Raceway to here, and it's just me riding better, finding better lines, finding smoother bumps. So
Smoother bumps?
Yeah.
Something you got to do?
Yeah, it's Morgan Park characteristics.
Yep.
So, but yeah, no, I could not have a better bike. Like the boys, Luke especially, and Dougie at race weekends work so hard to give me like an easy bike and good bike on tyres, and allow me to have the speed, and then it's just up to me to have the pace.
Well, there's about 580 weeks between now and the next round. What do you do?
Crazy.
It's crazy. What do you do?
We have the longest championship in the world, I think, with the least amount of rounds.
We do. We could probably put 2 championships in.
Oh,
So,
we could have a winter and a summer series, but
yeah.
now I carried a few injuries into this round. I did my ACL 2 weeks ago, so all my attention will be on just getting that right. It was sort of didn't hamper me here at all, but it's just there,
Yeah.
And so all my attention will be trying to just get that right, keep fit, hopefully do a bit of riding in between, because I hadn't ridden between QR and here at all, because just
Well, no laps.
No laps, just Ovalis, which is awesome. Obviously, keep me in touch, but it's
Yeah,
not.
but no
it's
R6
not
laps.
It's not my R6.
Huh.
It's just hard. Like my mechanic lives 4 hours away. He's always away for work. I'm busy with my work, and so it's just really we need to make more of an effort, to be honest, to make it happen because it really pays, you know, in the last few laps of races and stuff when you're not riding your bike all the time.
I guess one of the positives coming into the next part of the year, like you finished off last year in the places where we're going to in good stead.
Yeah.
They are close to home to maybe do a couple more laps, Dad?
Yeah, for
in the
sure.
last half of the year?
Yeah, we've got all the
Which is a
intentions
good thing.
to go there and do a few laps because we need to. The competition's only getting faster. We didn't beat the lap record this weekend, but every other weekend we have. So, you know, you can't expect to go there and do the same and get the same result.
Yeah.
You've got to be better. Everyone's getting better, including us. So yeah, I'm keen as to get to some more tracks and just make sure that we're pushing ourselves forward.
Because you look at those lap records, like the first one was the Phillip Island one, the Brian Starring, long-standing one.
Yep.
This one I think was a Crew Halliday one, maybe.
Yep.
Pretty long-standing records.
The
and you've
QR one
broken
was Stauffer's, I think.
Yeah, I think,
Stauffer's.
so long-standing records. So the pace is huge, you know, so really fast. So,
Yeah.
cool, man. Well, enjoy your trip home.
Yeah, thank you.
You up here next weekend for Mini GP?
Yeah, I'm coming back up with Wayno on next Thursday, so keen as for that. Yeah, hopefully get stuck into a little bit of coaching on the Friday and then just helping with the event. So it's awesome. It's such a good opportunity for all these kids to have Ovalis to be able to race and, you know, before they had nothing to do. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
Great way to keep your eye in, and the facilities like Ipswich and Oakley for you guys down south, like it's unreal. So cool, mate. Safe travels.
All right, thanks, mate.
Thanks.
So pitted a couple of pit garages up was Glenn Allerton, who I did a little bit of work with over the weekend. And take a bit of a listen to see how Glenn's weekend went up here. He was pretty happy with how it went, and the BMW seems to be just gradually chipping away and getting closer and closer to the front. Very consistent times, but I'll throw it over to Glenn now.
Tell me about your weekend, mate.
Yeah, so expectations were just to be in the top 5 and to get myself into that, you know, like low 1 minute 13, and honestly, 1 minute 12 was like I wanted to get there, but it was seemed a little bit out of the realms of what we could do based off the test that I did here.
Yep.
And but we made some good changes throughout the weekend, and you know, this team is it's evolving. We've got some more help now. You know, Alpha are helping us with the electronics, but we've actually got another guy that's here in Australia, Cody, that helped us out this weekend, and his knowledge of how to read the Motec was great. He's still in a learning process, but the best part was when I came in after each session and we debriefed, and I said, this is the area that I'm either getting too much wheelie or too much power or not enough power, whatever it was. He was able to identify those areas, and then Sam and I would, you know, converse about how we would make the changes, and ultimately Sam would make the changes to the bike. And really happy with how the bike ended up feeling by the end of the race. You know, the first one, we probably just had a little bit too much traction control off the last corner, and it was saving the tyre, but we were losing time. And then the second race, like, the bike was so fast off the last corner, and letting that BMW eke down the straight. I almost got past Herfoss to start the second lap.
Yeah.
So just feels awesome to be able to battle with those guys at this circuit. It's been such a tough track for me over the years, and when you constantly have struggles at a track, it becomes like this mental blockage for you that, I don't like coming to this place because you know you've had so many rough struggles here. But this weekend was a breakthrough for us. I'd like to finish the race a bit closer, but to have the pace when we've got grip just shows that we're there, and we've got the bike and we've got the package. We just got to keep chipping away and going to Phillip Island. I know I'm good there, and I've won races in the past. And then last year, the package that I think we've improved on now, we almost won both races last year. So my confidence level's high. I can't wait to get Tail and Bend. And I love that track, and I really feel like that our package is going to be the one to beat.
So you come away from here like some really useful points. A positive weekend. That must feel really, really good too, eh?
Yeah, look, the only problem with the points is that the guy that I'm racing for the championship, it seems like I'm in a battle with Mike now, because the front two are quite a ways ahead, but you know, I finished behind him in both races. So to be on the podium's awesome. But I just can't worry about that stuff. You know, it's racing. Anything can happen, as we've seen throughout the races, guys having engine problems, and like I had a problem with oil coming out of my bike in that qualifying session, and I'm really happy with how the team and myself bounced back from that. To start Q1, had a massive oil leak, oil all over the bike, come out of the clutch cover, and you know, we pulled in, and I was worried for everybody else that there was that much oil because there was oil on the tyre, and luckily we got the bike back together, but it took me a while to push really, like, well, not a while, it took me 3 or 4 laps, but I didn't have the time, but so I had to just mentally push through. Every time I tipped it right, the back of my mind with that first tyre, I was like, oh, how hard can I push this? Because I'd already put oil on that first tyre. Then we get through to the second part of qualifying, and then put their soft X in and have to just go all out. And I'm pumped with the lap time that we did, and you know, it's a really positive way to overcome a problem that we had. It wasn't a problem where, you know, sometimes in a weekend you can have one thing go wrong and it just takes all the momentum out of your weekend and your confidence goes down, but we probably built in confidence from there, and we went even faster today.
One of the things I've seen, and I've worked with your team this weekend, which has been great, was there was no panic at that time. Everyone had a method, you know, this was going on, you were cleaning your boot. You know what I mean? Like, there was no panic at that time. And
no, I didn't panic.
It's a rush session. Like, there's not much time.
Not much time.
But there was no panic, and that was a real good thing about a team. And that was, pretty evident at that point.
Nobody yelled at anyone or put blame on anyone, because we're all here to achieve the same goal. They all want to see me win. So when I got back, I just said, hey, there's oil here, pointed it out, and said, you know, do your best to get it clean. We've got a red flag. I just went back and sat down and let them do their thing. I didn't want to yell at anybody or create, you know, anxiety or confusion in the moment. Just here's the task. I actually went and grabbed the new clutch cover gasket out of the trailer. Walked up to him, put it down, said, here's the new gasket, just take your time, get it right. And we made it back out there. So
that's what it was in the end?
Yeah, it was just a clutch cover gasket. So we had the clutch apart, but sometimes you can just pinch the gasket and just it creates a little port for the oil to get out. And a fair bit came out.
So what happens now? You've got a little bit of time between now and the next round. You go back to work. You go back to do your things, you know, of course.
Yeah, make some money.
Do you ride any other things? What do you do?
Yeah, there's an Ovale race next week. After this weekend, how good I went, I think I'm going to just fly up because my nephew's taken. Yeah, they've got, my nephew and my sister have got the bike, so they've got my bike as a backup for Josh.
Yeah, right.
So I might just fly up on Friday and do the Ovale race, and then we've got some time off. I've been considering going to America to watch a NASCAR race. I've been thinking about it for so many years, and I just never do it. And now we have such a big break, and I've got friends that work in the industry in NASCAR over there, so I can get like some behind the scenes, like go to Hendrick Motorsports and just go and see a cool race. And it's something that's been brewing inside me for a while, and I feel like if I don't do it, then I'm probably never going to do it. So that's something that might happen in this big break that we have, but then we're going to get to work. We're going to go to Phillip Island, do about 4 days testing, really get on top of our package that has developed now with the new suspension and the way that the bike is biting the track. It's just, I know it's going to work really good there, so yeah, I can't wait to get down there and do some laps.
You're working behind the scenes to make the team more visible and whatnot as a race team. Where can people find all your stuff now? Yeah,
so go to YouTube. Check out the GT Racing YouTube page. You know, the channel's there, and we're trying to upload as much stuff as we can, just the behind the scenes stuff of how this team works. You know, the incident that we had there with the oil coming out of the bike, stuff like that will be in there, and just how our weekend progressed and how things are brewing here at GT Racing.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.
Thanks.
Next up, we went straight over to Max Stauffer. Max had a bit of a tough weekend here at Morgan Park. Let's see what Max Stauffer had to say.
Yeah, not 100% sure how to explain this one. It definitely wasn't what I wanted. I knew, you know, or looking at the calendar at the beginning of the year, I knew that 100% this is going to be probably the toughest meeting for me this year. And it was definitely made tougher by not being able to test. It was just too close of a gap from Darwin to now to be able to get up here and have a ride. But yeah, look, we'll keep pushing forward. Yeah, it's just slightly disappointing, and yeah, but we'll keep moving forward. And Phillip Island's next. I've been fast there, and yeah, see what happens.
And the pace, like, not so much pace, because your pace is good here too. Like, it's not like the pace is bad, but the positions you've been in through the year, that's where that mental barrier, isn't it? You're like, oh man, I've been in these other positions to fight. that must be where it really kicks you a little bit, yeah?
Yeah, it really hurts. Like, you know, at Kiara, I was in 6th and I was doing that quite comfortably, you know. Like, you know, I was battling, or not battling, but I was sitting on the back of the, you know, that top 6. And I learnt so much just from that one race, but I've not been able to get back there since then. So, you know, probably the 2 toughest tracks for me, the 2 tracks that I've done the least amount of laps on any bike. Yeah, look, as I said, Phillip Island's next. I know I've been fast there. I've put it on the 2nd row before.
Yeah.
So I'm going in there full of confidence. Hopefully, can get some testing time on the superbike, and we'll get into it.
Like, you know this already, but that round at Phillip Island at the start of the year, your qualifying pace, like you had issues on the race that were out of your hands, right?
Yeah.
But your qualifying pace and your actual race pace there is a good place to be, isn't it, straight away?
Oh, 100%. And, you know, I didn't test at Phillip Island at the beginning of the year, but that didn't worry me too much because that's a track that I'd done, you know, quite a few laps at on the superbike. So I could go in there with confidence, but I never had a base setting, you know. I had a base setting for a 34 lap time, but I'd never done a 32 around there. So to go to this meeting now knowing that I've got a base setting that can do a 32.4 in qualifying and, you know, mid to high 32s consistently for on the A tyre, on the harder tyre, sort of brings a lot of confidence. And it's just something that I can build off and improve over the weekend. So going in there knowing that, you know, I'm in a much stronger position than any other meeting this year is definitely a big confidence boost.
True. What do you do in between now and then? Well, you've got a few weeks. What, obviously work and all the things that happens with it. But
got
what
a bit of work, and going to be spending a lot of time with Cam to get in the gym, and we'll be riding motocross bikes out at my house a lot. So just stuff like that, just to try and get better.
Yeah, that's a huge part to it, eh? Like Cam came and did Aussie Flat Track Nationals the other week.
Yep.
And I was saying to him just before when I interviewed him was his front end feel.
Yeah.
It's just magic. Like, it's magic at the moment. Like, you just see him out here. Like, it's all replicated. It's just bike time, isn't it?
Yep, 100%.
So, yeah, cool, mate. Have a good trip home, and we'll see you at Phillip Island in the last week of October.
Yep, no worries, mate.
Cool, mate.
Thank you very much.
And the last rider that we got to see in the pits was Cameron Swain. Just as it was getting pretty dark there and pretty cold up at Morgan Park, we got to have a bit of a chat to Cam, and he's full of energy at the moment. Riding phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So we're going to get him on the podcast and have a bit more of a chat to him about heading overseas to ride and basically how his season's going and how everything's progressing as well. But yeah, take a listen to Cam.
Mate, it was an unbelievable weekend for me.
Yeah.
Like in Supersport 300, I topped every single practice session, got pole position, and won every single race. So you can't really ask for any more, obviously, but like before the weekend in Supersport 300, I was around 44 points behind Brandon Demery.
Yep.
And now at the end of the weekend, I'm only 2. So, or I think it's 2, but that I'm so happy. Like I did not expect to be able to bring it down that much, but yeah, in R3 Cup, I topped every practice session, got pole position, and then got second in every single race in R3 Cup. And every single time it was just, I got pipped to the line. But I feel that I showed that, you know, I had the best consistency in being able to always be fighting for P1 and 2. Because, you know, every single R3 Cup race, there was 3 different winners, but I was constantly there. So I felt pretty happy with myself for that. The highlight of the weekend was probably the race 2 of Supersport 300 when I won by I think 4 or 5 seconds. So yeah, it's not usual you see that, but yeah, it was pretty awesome, and I'm pretty stoked and just happy with myself to do that.
Not very often in Supersport 300 you can cross the hill at Morgan Park here and take a look back, and you did.
Yeah.
I looked at that and I'm like, wow, that must feel amazing. Like, that's incredible, mate.
Yeah, it's something I can't even describe. Like, I felt it at Phillip Island at the start of the year, and I felt it today, and nothing will ever top it. Like, after you just, like, before this round, so much effort, time and money with me and my family has gone in to try and get these results that we've gotten, and it's all paid off, and I'm so grateful that it has. Like, just that feeling of relief is insanely good. Yeah, I can't even describe how happy I am with it.
One of the exciting things I think too is just your lap speed, like your outright lap speed is just, it's insane.
Yep.
Like just to be able to lap after lap put out these laps at that pace. Yeah, what do you do between now and the next round?
So now between here and Phillip Island, I'm actually going to Europe for a month for all of September.
Wow.
So I fly out on the 1st and I'll be doing 2 rounds with World Superbikes.
Yep.
The first one I'm doing is, it's a wild card in the European R3 Cup Championship, so it's their final round of the year. So they're all on R3s, like here in Australia, and all the same gear. It's like Oceania Junior Cup, same gear, same liveries, exactly the same bikes, same spec. So really that'll be a good test to see where I'm at, and I'm keen to give it my all there. And then after that, I'll be in Spain for 2 weeks training with a training campus called Garmin Racing. And then after that, we fly to Portugal for Portimao, which is the same bikes as the European R3 Cup, but it's called the European R3 Cup Super Finale. And it's where they pick 1 or 2 R3 Cup riders from around the world. And they all go head to head at Portimao, and whoever wins that gets a free year in European R3 Cup Championship the next year.
So there's a lot on the line at the moment.
Yeah, around $50,000 I think that championship is.
Is that what it is? Wow. Mate, that is huge. And like, I keep up with your social media. I see the fundraiser the other week, and I know how much pressure goes into racing these bikes at this thing. And you're doing such a good job, your whole family, and well done on a magic weekend.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate it a lot.
Thanks, bud.
Well, that's all we have time for on the ASBK wrap-up show. A big thank you to everyone that's having a listen to it. And shout out to those that have actually come up to me in the pits as well and said, oh, we really enjoy the news that's coming out of these. You're doing a good job. Really appreciate the insight for some riders. So it's really nice to hear. And if there's any other feedback of how we can improve it or anything, please let us know. We're working on some exciting projects with HJC Australia for some giveaways and that. So keep an eye on our page. If you haven't done it yet, make sure you hit subscribe to our YouTube, tell your friends, give us a rating and a review on iTunes, and we'll be back with another show real soon.